Paul, what could you manage to get a hold of 50 of in one night?
Neuroses.
Yeah? Different flavor. I need you to get me to... oh no, what is the accent? It's sort of Scouse, isn't it?
Yeah. There we go, got it.
50 neuroses by morning.
They were like, let me just figure out what the names of all of these are. And I just drop into a heap on the floor, immediately start crying and tearing off my clothes. And I've already got them tattooed on my body. Oh, memento.
Narcissism. Narcissism 2.
The narcissism. Megalomania. Kleptomania.
Fear of abandonment. Fear of people.
Yeah.
Fear of fire. Fear of not being on fire.
Self-loathing. Intense love of beards. Yeah.
Lack of beard, but also overwhelming presence of beard. That's not a neuroses. You've just got a beard, mate.
Okay, belief of overwhelming presence of beard being a neurosis.
Belief in person criticizing me for just having a beard. What? Ah! Hello and welcome to One Good Thing, the podcast that does look like an asshole. You've got us there, Nicolas Cage. I'm Chattanooga Paul.
I'm jammed up bad.
Look outside, it's still gunman season.
Oh no! Why, God?
And after exploding out of the closet of Drop Dead Fred, we're going to sneakily fart our way into a car with Nicolas Cage and be gone in 60 seconds.
Unlike my farts.
They linger, mate.
Time it took you to buy your ticket. 3.2 minutes. Time it took you to get your popcorn. 2.5 minutes. Time it took them.
Oh, let's go.
To steal your car. Hello, ladies. 60 seconds.
Move, go.
Come on, Sway, baby, work your magic.
The film is a remake of the 1974 film, written, directed, produced, and starring by H.B. Halicki. The original was. There was going to be a Gone in 60 Seconds too. Gone in 61 seconds?
Yeah.
62? If you're doing an Oceans thing.
Back in 60 seconds.
Oh, God. That's
no,
pretty
I'm
good.
back for one last job. I always said I wouldn't do it after the last time I said I wouldn't do it and did. But I did.
That's exactly how H.B. Halicki talks, because yes, there was going to be a Gone in 60 Seconds 2 in 1989, but H.B. Halicki was killed during production of that movie when a water tower fell over prematurely, snapping a suspension cable, which sheared off a telephone pole, which fell on him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he got final destinationed.
Gee, he got ghost shipped.
He did. The ghost of Cage's future came back and got him.
This one's mine.
The 1967 Mustang that Cage steals last in this film is the same model of car from the original, both called Eleanor in the films. Yeah.
Okay. Eleanor.
The remake is written by Scott Rosenberg, writer of Con Air, Kangaroo Jack, Venom, he's a three-man, and High Fidelity. Oh, he's not very good.
Oh, brilliant, and fuck you.
To his credit, he did also write the new Jumanji movies, and is currently working on a film adaptation of One Punch Man.
Ooh, brilliant. Season 1, I hope. Also,
starring John Cusack.
as man, not One Punch Man.
Is there a character in One Punch Man called No Punch Man?
There might be. I don't know, Paul. Not in the ones I read or saw.
Dominic Senna directs. He also made California with a K, Season of the Witch with a Cage, and Swordfish with a... He also made the music videos for Bryan Adams, not that one. Not that music video, not that Bryan Adams.
A different...
It is that Bryan Adams.
Are you saying...
not that video.
It's... Oh, okay. I thought you were mixing up Ryan and Bryan Adams then, and I was saying we can't be having this, Paul, on our podcast of facts.
I need you to tell me if there is a Ryan Adams.
There is a Ryan Adams.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I suppose.
The world is a magical, wonderful
Scary place.
He also did music videos for Tina Turner and Janet Jackson, including her iconic Rhythm Nation video. All you really needed to do with that was just point a camera at it, but he didn't too annoyingly cut all over the place. You can definitely tell there's a cool dance going on.
Hey, nice. And that's all we need, MTV generation.
Ah, fuck yeah. Now, when it came to this film, critics were a little tired, but not very wired. Kim Newman at Empire Magazine said, "It's impossible to care about Cage's mission. His character or his ongoing career? I'm not invested at all in whether or not Cage manages to make a success of this."
He's trying, though. And,
Jaded man.
You know,
he
he agreed to do the film because his brother said he'd do a film and then got arrested for it. And he owed, let's say Michael Bay, £70 in damages.
Yeah.
And Michael Bay said, no, you have to be in some film that I don't direct.
But I'm in spiritually. Public, meanwhile, got their jollies by playing with dog shit, man.
It's good stuff.
MB at Google said, "Great movie to watch. Casting was perfect. Of course, nobody can steal that many cars in one night, but it's a good movie to watch if you haven't seen it. Just a good movie for me. That's why I recommend to watch."
Oh. I mean, look, covered all bases there because halfway through that
Everything
review...
I want to say.
Yeah, halfway through that review, I just thought, oh, God, if I hadn't seen the movie already, I'd be like, yeah, but they should have called this movie The Incredible Stealing of 50 Cars in One Night, because it is a bit incredible, Paul.
I conversely think that you should only watch this if you have seen it. So before you see it, make sure you've seen it.
I don't want anyone to have seen this film who hasn't already seen it. Groucho Marx.
But how about them three men? Groucho Marx? Not this time.
Oh.
He's a one-man, though. Bearded man Greg Bronson was in Jet Li's The One and Inspector Gadget, and this as doctor, paramedic, and uncredited inventor, respectively.
Oh, good stuff. Wait, paramedic in Gone in 60 Seconds?
Paramedic in Inspector Gadget. So he was one of the people who put Matthew Broderick back together again.
Oh, okay. Do you know what? Of all the list of all those roles, I did not think paramedic was going to be Inspector Gadget. I thought it would be the inventor one.
Yeah, I would have thought so, actually, because if that is really respectively, and I've done my work correctly, then he plays an uncredited inventor in this.
That's what confused me, you see. What inventions?
Well, he probably didn't do that.
He invented
Maybe
cars.
He invented cars. Jesus Christ. You're going to love these things. Trust me. This guy's cooked up a whole new thing. And I'm going to steal them. What? There's only two. Well, never mind. Kevin West is a slender-faced Alan Cummings sort of man. And he was in Super Mario Bros. And Jr. Minor roles. Angelina Jolie is a three-man. And the fact that we start with hackers and end with the tourists does suggest that her career needs a course correct.
It was going well.
I think that you should be in more dumb shit. I see. I'm willing to entertain that. Now, Delroy Lindo is a foreman after Point Break, The One, and Congo. He stood out and got sampled in each and every one of those. Will he be quick-fired in this? Maybe.
Fucking wait and see.
You better wait and find out. Because, I don't remember the rules that we've variously come up with for Nicolas Cage, but even without Vampire's Kiss, he's an 8-man.
I think it's if we both like the movie, then it's easier to argue for like striking a movie from the record.
Even then, it's not that straightforward. It's fairly complex. I think it's just worth at this stage expanding Nicolas Cage's mass to an infinite number so that he is an everyman.
He's a
Our
Morbius.
first ever everyman. It is Morbin.
Don't you mean Mobius, Paul? No, I don't.
Definitely not. Nobody's arguing that. A lot of people call it Mobius when they mean Morbius. Nobody's going for Mobius, so get out of my office.
It is Mobius.
It is Mobius.
Oh, free to a man, free in the bush, free, yo. Films are shit, mate.
The film has 25% on Rotten Tomatoes, 35% on Metacritic, 6.5 on IMDb, 83% on Google, and pulled in 237 mil.
Google, my boys.
Google! Always loved you. Always on board with what Google has to say. Yes, it pulled in 237 million, but due to its expensive production and marketing, it probably lost about 90 mil, though Disney actually reported that it lost over 200 mil for tax reasons. Good stuff.
Yay.
Hey, good stuff. And that allowed them to hire Uwe Boll for the sequel.
What? Is that a joke or is that a thing?
No, that's not a thing, although I like that you believed it.
It could have happened. You don't know.
It definitely could have happened.
Disney's teaming
I'll
up with
let
the
you-
new Avengers.
I'll let you all think of that. So, Paul, you bad man.
Too much bloody money.
What's one thing about Gone in a Minute that made you want to have sex while boosting cars? Whilst?
Whilst if you're a classy fuck.
Whilst.
Yeah.
How about...
Whilst. Well, Will Patton, Paul.
Oh, yeah!
He's
Michael
in
Bay
this.
regular Will Patton.
Yeah, love him. Well, he's got a pretty good leather jacket, Paul, and
Oh, yeah.
he needs something cold to drink.
He needs it. Give this man something cold to drink. He's been up all day. That's what people say. Cool, I've been up all day. I need a cold drink right now. Who else has been up all day? Oh, Christ. All right, well, let's get into the events of Gone in 60 Seconds.
All right.
We start with an excellent Naughties opening that just makes me want to X those severs. Bum, bum, bum.
I think
And,
in that
yeah.
at that point I went, oh, this is no, can't place it.
Yep, I'll be doing that a few times. We get some high adrenaline names coming up on screen, though. Giovanni Ribisi, Timothy Oliphant, Grace Zabritsky. Fuck yeah.
She's been about, Paul. It's no wonder that
She
I have a bit of a Timothy Oliphant thing. Like, he was just in every movie from my teen years. You just seem to be
That's
revisiting
right.
them recently.
Dad, why do you keep showing me these movies? No reason. His mustache just slipping at the sides. You are the son of an Oliphant, in spite of Adam Driver telling you weren't, and everybody hoping that you wouldn't be.
God, this law's really confusing me, Dad. Well, look, it's not my fault that Deadwood writers wrote this. Love Deadwood anyway.
Well,
but yeah, so he's
Yeah,
he's
we
boosting a
catch
carpool, by which I mean driving it
is?
through a bloody window, Giovanni Ribisi, and
Giovanni Baby Ribisi. Baby Ribisi is
Baby
doing a
Ribisi.
car heist whilst his friend narrates what he's doing for any visually impaired members of the audience.
Aw.
It's a very inclusive film.
that's lovely.
I gotta get my tool.
Kim! Man, that's not a tool. That's a damn brick.
Yeah.
Um,
And he boosts it because it turns out he's doing a Sunshine Autos list. And you always got to put the penultimate one in a garage because they always decrease the spawn rate for the last one.
I only vaguely get that.
Yeah, there's a list of cars they need to get, but Ribisi's done fucked up, and now the police and big beat music are after him.
TMZ are going wild trying to get their hands on the Ribisi. Yeah, and he's royally fucked up, and he's got some young friends. It's a real horror show. Cut to
God.
Nicolas Cage intimidating
Well,
some
cut
children.
to a scene that Nicolas Cage is obviously about to step into. And yes, we have Nicolas Cage teaching kids how to go-kart.
Yeah.
Aw.
He changes all their lives forever. I'd argue for the best. And
few others would.
it's all going well. Well, that's why you got to stand up for the things you believe in, Paul. You know, it's going to be
Go-karts.
I'm going to be on the right side of history.
Fuck yeah.
And then
Will
bloody
Patton,
Will Patton's
another
here.
guy who's on the right side of history is Will Patton,
Yeah.
because he's going to show up and he's got to tell Cage that he's got to steal a lot of cars or they'll kill his baby Ribisi brother.
Baby Ribisi. Yeah.
Baby Ribisi.
He doesn't want to do it
Yeah.
really, but feel bad if his
Well.
brother pops off.
Well, he's also here to offer some ominous warnings about the big bad guy. Oh shit, this guy's bad. You don't know anyone like this. And he's implied to crush people in a car crusher. And there's a fire and metal and sparks and big machines. And oh shit, here he comes. And it's Christopher Eccleston
It's Christopher Eccleston, and he's
with a haircut.
sometimes doing scouse.
God bless him.
I try to learn your ways, understand your obsessions. But this baseball, it's so bleeding boring, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's into wood, and he's very menacing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He does villain stuff because only villains and mavericks are allowed to know about stuff. And he doesn't look like a maverick to me, Paul.
no, he doesn't. Look at that face.
Yeah.
His stupid
Yeah,
face.
so- Fortunately, he's going quite big because Cage has decided to underplay it for some reason, so I'm quite happy that Christopher Eccleston is here to try an accent he has no godly business doing.
Oh, I think Nick Cage wanted you to think he's not going big, but I felt like he was going big all the time just by standing there. He was radiating something, and I think it was rubbing off on Christopher Eccleston. And either way, I think we can both agree that his Scouse was very good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
So Cage doesn't want to do the job because the writer read that screenplay book. It's the, Resistance of the Call. Like, what if he was just up for it? I need you to.
Like, fuck yeah.
I need you to steal 50 cars in 4 nights because sure I'll do it. Oh, I mean
Oh great. Fuck, what was that?
I've got your brother. No idea what the fuck any of this is. Oh.
I got your brother. And strike me down if my name's not Liverpool Joe.
You can keep him. I just fucking love this. I love every part of this. I hate kids. I'm not going back to the go-karts. He wants his Rabisi back. He wants his baby Rabisi back, so he agrees to do it.
Yeah.
And I guess he actually got his Rabisi back. Okay, well I guess we'll just take Eccleston's word for it that he could track him down anywhere. He did have a lot of car-crushing stuff after all, so he probably means business.
He's a single Scouse man in the United States of America, Paul. You don't know how many fingers in pies or pasties that he's got.
Nobody out there has encountered a Scouse man before because we very rarely let them onto any of our television programs.
Yeah.
God, if Stephen Graham went over there and that's why he's in everything, because everyone just doesn't know how to handle him.
I mean, he started, when he started Boardwalk Empire, he wasn't supposed to be playing Al Capone. He was just like Jay
He just
Dick
walked on set and started doing it. Al
Yeah.
Capone actually lived hundreds of years later.
Yeah.
But
he's
decided,
a
fuck it,
future.
everyone will be on board.
Yeah. He's a future gang lord, and it's crazy, really. But like that's Liverpool for you. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Cage visits his Grace Zabriskie mum on the set of the latest David Lynch movie that she's in, and she takes some time off from dissolving Laura Dern in a vat of acid to interact with him.
And you can't tell.
Yeah. But then also, speaking of other characters, Lindo is here. Bloody
Oh, shit.
Lindo!
Uh-oh.
Delroy Lindo is a cop, and he shows up to do that scene in the crime movie where the cop and the criminal have a pally exchange with a veiled warning in it. And I just... Yeah. So... Sorry,
All right.
I have an end to that, but I don't want to say it.
Oh, okay. Why? You don't have to say it, but I want to know why.
My comment was just, I just wish Cage was doing an accent, but I feel like I've already covered that ground. Any accent, get his Jamaican one back out. It can't be that bad.
Surely. Or we
might get a little preview of it later on.
God. Maybe Cage could do Delroy Lindo's voice from Congo. Have some sesame cake.
This is very confusing for me. So, anyway, speaking of other characters, let's also get Robert Duvall into this. He's here, and he loves cars. That's
mate.
handy because there's a movie about cars after all. And let's take this as a moment to just really connect with the central premise that these are characters who just love. What do you know about Raymond Calici? Fuck, it's the plot.
I love that scene. It's a quick fire of mine, and we'll get into that later. You soulless animal. So
I enjoyed it too, Paul. It was over way too quickly for me.
I see. So
So how many cars you got? I'm gonna do Robert Duvall. How many cars you gotta steal, son? 50.
How many cars you gotta steal, son? How many days you got to steal these cars?
3. Wait, you spent a whole day just wandering around chatting to Grace Zabriskie and Delroy Lindo. I also got lost.
I'm fucking I walked past an arcade, and there was a little thing tied to the pole, and it was going around and around on a bike, and now I'm here.
I was in 3 other movies. Oh, okay. So, and look, there's an Asian woman driver. Of course she's terrible.
Don't look at me, look at the people next to you. Turn away.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Jerry. But anyway, the driver is in the crew, along with some other people being recruited who I haven't come up with names for, except Vinny fucking Jones.
He's fucking here.
He's fucking here. He shows up as a mute mortician.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not, Paul? Don't you understand how cinema works? What's wrong with you?
It's why not? Read my screenplay book. Why not? Also here, why not, is Angelina Jolie for that scene where the criminal tries to reconcile with a love interest that he's wronged in the past.
Yeah.
But she says no, so she'll just have to show up later.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, okay, well, I'll see you later at the heist.
I'll see you in the heist later. But it's it's page 28 of the script, so we best have an action scene. And Vinnie Jones shows up to show us some of his special martial arts, middle wall itsu.
Listeners at home, I'm trying to bounce off the cynicism of Paul Salt, and it's sometimes the real me has to come through.
Sometimes it has to happen, and we all appreciate that. Look,
And I love that he's done it especially for Goodman season.
I haven't been overly cynical in Goodman's season. It's all... I love Goodman's season. It's my favourite time of year.
Aw,
And...
that explains Christmas.
Paul, do you want to put another present? What's the point? So we get a few more scenes. We get a heart-to-heart with the brother, and a police investigation progresses, and a standoff with the brother, and a crew assembly, and the police investigation progresses, and a briefing scene where we find out they're going to steal them all in one night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Best way.
there's those. Best way.
Best way. Good reason for it.
Then Cage goes to scope out the cars at a dealership, and finally for me, Mr. Cage shows up.
My name's Roger. Sir, may I be of some help?
That's funny. My name's Roger. Two Rogers don't make a right. Roger, I have a problem.
Yes.
I've been in LA for 3 months now. I have money, I have taste. But I'm not on anybody's A-list, and Saturday night is the loneliest night of the week for me.
It's the best minute of my life. I love every second of it. And then we go back to the police.
And then it's
investigation.
gone, as is as the title suggested.
There
you
see,
go.
that was what was gone in 60 seconds.
Now we know. You're welcome, listeners, and Paul Salt for being my friend.
They continue to plan the heist, and Jolie's here. Did I genuinely miss that happening?
So we missed a really important scene when Nick Cage followed her to a second job. And,
At the bar, yeah.
At the bar. And
That's where she blew him off, I thought.
Well, she blew him off, but when he left,
so to speak, not in a Boris Johnson way.
Yeah, didn't do it. Nothing in that scene was reminiscent of Boris Johnson. So, and I think we can all be thankful for that. But when she blew him off, he left, and she did a sort of, I wish he hadn't come back because I fucking love him face.
Yeah.
And I love.
And then we go outside, and Vinnie Jones beats up some street punks.
Yeah. But we saw the face. That was the face. That was her going.
Oh, the face was it.
Well, the face was pure cinema, mate.
Okay. It was. Okay, that's fair enough. There's a lot of visual storytelling going on there. Speaking of which, Baby Ribisi pronounces Peugeot as Peugeot and then says faggy. So he's great. We've got to keep this guy alive.
I really hope that he survives this. And
I'm starting
weird,
to feel
isn't it?
bad now about the shit I've written. It's funny, but it's
just keep...
page. All right, it's page 48, so it's time for another action scene. Some guys show up and shit up the car, so they run. The guys are criminals who don't like them for some reason. Then that stops, and Cage does something probably fairly racially insensitive, but it is the second cagey thing that he's done for me, so I'm glad he did it.
Which bit there?
Look, cop car. Uh-huh. Long as I'm in here, you're just gonna sit out there, aren't you? Aight?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that. Well,
I'm here for it.
look, the fact that you thought it says a lot more about you than it does about me. Nicolas Cage. Oh, we better just leave. He's not going to stop
Is
this.
George Lucas a Nicolas Cage character? Maybe.
Surprise.
Surprise, it's me. And me. Oh my god. Oh god. So
And then like we have that like Tyler Durden moment, like looking back at that documentary. It's just flashing from George Lucas to Nick Cage in the cinema, going, "Yeah, I may have overdid it in some parts."
Oh god. Well, one of the anonymous crew members, stole a car for no reason, and it belongs to gangsters. Oh no!
Shit! It's full of good drugs.
It's full
Paul.
of really good drugs, and there will definitely be consequences.
Oh
for
no!
this.
Fucking hell! So many drugs. This would fetch what? 100 grand? Yeah. Interesting. We'll put that away for later.
We'll do that in the next movie.
Anyway.
So
Delroy Lindo's here, everyone.
Delroy Lindo
Fuck.
shows up, and he's onto them a bit, and then he goes off. So
yeah,
it's time
he
to
pretends not to be, and they have some good car revving stuff, Paul. Like they all like they man about the place.
Oh, they bloke about.
They're like
Gotta love that.
And they like go to hug each other, and then they get weird and punch each other on the arms for 78 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty powerful.
And
well, look, they're getting ready for the heist. Gloves? You don't need gloves. I've got very obvious fake fingerprints you can uncomfortably glue to the end of your fingers. What about palm prints? What? Why are these better than just gloves? Yeah, mate. Well, look, are these going to get mentioned again in this movie? Yeah, mate. All right, let's do it. So the fucking's on.
Sick.
Fucking's on.
Yeah.
And everybody
Fucking's on, Paul.
starts stealing cars. And
Yeah.
I do hit the note. You know what?
Dim, 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 dim,
You know what I quite like at this stage in this car-based action movie is a car chase. Because so far for me, this has been a bit like a movie about a guy who's obsessed with guns, but not firing them. He just likes loading and unloading and maintaining them, which we see in jump cuts.
Sometimes that's nice though. I enjoy that because he's been touching all the cars. He's been walking past all the cars, Paul, having a little like kiss of the cars,
Give him a bit of a
and then
finger.
I'm like, oh, I know he's gonna.
He's gonna
just
do
like
it.
little finger in the petrol nozzle, and it's like, oh, I know he's gonna drive him soon, and I fucking
Little flick of the rear tail
I
light.
love this foreplay.
Well, as
You know it's gonna happen. You saw the trailers.
you saw the trailer.
Just wait for
I know,
it. son.
and also I'm getting a pretty big sense of anticipation here because the movie is using soundtrack and editing to try and make the very technical process of stealing cars exciting, which does put me in mind of Hackers. This is Jackers.
It really works for me. I'm completely sold at this point, and I just want them to win. I don't even care about Giovanni Ribisi and his unpleasant sentiments and derogatory statements. Just
Gotta
want them to
save
steal
him.
all the cars.
Gotta steal the cars because oh no, there's a problem though. The police are very obviously watching all of the Mercedes in town. Damn it, Lindo! But fortunately, don't worry though.
Timothy Oliphant's there,
He's there too.
Going-
It's horrible.
going, I can see you.
Nobody steal
Delroy
this.
Lindo turns the other way.
Delroy. Damn it! Why are you?
He's
here?
just there, like just waving his arms in front of the car.
Fortunately, though, the screenwriter ingeniously planted the solution to this problem earlier in the following scene. Hey, look, I found these old Mercedes keys from the last heist. Oh, cool. I guess that tension's resolved. Oh, the dog ate them! That ought to be worth another scene or two.
Fuck. Dogs. Well, I guess we'll have to cut him open, says Vinnie Jones, and no one stops him. And this is what happens in the movie.
Yeah, unbelievably.
They flay the dog.
Yeah.
Vinnie Jones wears it and then eats the face, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, can we get the keys now?" And he's like, "What?" So
They get the dog to shit out the keys whilst a baby Michael Pena shows up. Aww. They get the keys back.
playing his only supposedly threatening role ever.
Oh. And then, he goes off. Glad he was here.
Yeah.
So, oh shit though,
End of that.
Ribisi's been singing and one of his friends has been shot. Oh no, it's the smaller blonde one.
Hey, Paul, good job. I know you're making an effort to try and tell white men apart, and
Hey,
I'm feeling
I know
that
who
today.
Giovanni
That's great.
Ribisi is, and I feel like that's progress. Yeah, that guy goes to hospital and is presumably fine. He's probably in that last scene.
He's in the final scene.
great.
and,
He's all right then.
Angelina Jolie is sucking his finger, mate. So
Oh, that one. Oh, that's good stuff. So,
yeah. So well done him.
well done him. Cage has to steal the last one. Did we do the police compound bit with the Mercedes keys? Or was that the snake bit?
The what?
The bit where a bunch of cars are in a police compound and they have to get it out with the Mercedes keys that the dog ate. Did they do that?
I don't know.
Well, anyway.
I'm gonna say yes.
Finally, 90 minutes in,
Yeah.
we're going to get a car chase. And what better way is there to do a car
Oh.
chase than lockdown pedestrian camera crews interspersed with rapidly cut glimpses of cameras mounted to the actual vehicles? Fuck yes, sir. Fortunately, things do get a bit better when they get into the flood control, because I'm guessing they had more permission to shoot down there. So,
Yeah, probably.
Things open up a bit.
So yeah, that's okay.
And, Oliphant gets on the radio. Man, this guy can drive. Down a long, empty passage with very few obstructions. Fuck yeah.
He's remarking on the amazing scenes, Paul, that we half saw as well. And like I saw it all firsthand, Timothy style, and that's the thing I'm coining. And
Yeah.
I can tell you, audience, this guy, he knows how to drive.
He knows how to live it. Cage drives to the dockyard with a construction crew there because he insisted on having a fun action scene in the movie, in spite of everyone's wishes and attempts. But oh no, there's an accident on the bridge stopping him from getting back. Oh, thank God, though, for that conveniently placed ramp. Yeah, he's gonna get away. He's gonna get away in a clumsily edited, highly constructed, sometimes CGI, epic stunt.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
yeah.
Oh, but it's
That was really the only time that I went, oh, that's bad.
it's no good, though. He's late, so Shane Warne tells him to go off. And he drives over to Christopher Eccleston to convince him that... But you know what? The car was too damaged to be acceptable. Fuck, he should have taken it to Pay and Spray first.
R.I.P. Shane Warne.
Gone but not forgotten. It's looking bad for Cage, but his crew show up and save him. So Cage kills
Yeah.
Eccleston. He was killed by his monologuing hubris and bad continuity.
Yeah, but he saves Delroy Lindo's life.
Fuck yeah.
And Delroy Lindo goes, look, you committed many crimes,
It's
many
literally
crimes.
my job to stop you. Nevertheless.
but you were doing it to save your brother. So in this case, 2 wrongs plus a right make a right.
Just about.
And you saved my life, so
That's
2 wrongs and 2 rights, so that's double right, actually. On you go, scamp!
On you go. So Lindo lets Cage go to Dario, and everybody has the obligatory barbecue scene.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen a movie, it's like that.
You've seen Fast and the
And also he
Furious.
gets his car.
But
It breaks down. Oh, that Nicolas Cage.
Brilliant.
Ah.
And him and Angelina
Nin-
Jolie start having sex on the bonnet, and everyone
Fuck
cheers.
yeah. 90s music plays, and Disney Plus recommends I watch Con Air, so it's a pretty chill way to end a movie.
It's pretty good. Thanks, man. I will.
So there we are.
There we are.
Gone in 60 seconds, in 30 minutes or less, or more. A bit more. So, Paul,
Yes.
how did Gone in 60 Seconds stack up for you, sir?
So, yeah, sat down last night to watch the movie, and from... Yeah, as the movie starts, and we get that bring Sally up, bring Sally down.
Yeah.
It immediately brought back, memories of watching this movie, and it's a good track, and the excitement kind of, swept me up, and I was
Oh, good.
I was on board for what was coming, and yeah, look, I really enjoyed it. I had a real fun time.
Oh, good.
I all the things I dislike about the group of heisters in Fast and Furious movies and other things later on, like the beginnings of that, of like, oh god, I wish there were more about these characters, but it avoided the egregious stuff. And yeah, for me, it was just some kind of big performers giving big performances, and I know you disagree, and it's not stereotypical. It's not a typical big performance from Cage, but there's just something about it that he radiates throughout, and I had a lot of fun, and I'll just finish there. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. What can I say?
Yeah, I was looking forward to this one because I saw it once when I was a kid, and I know that I remember actually my dad liking it more than I did when we first watched it. He had the DVD of it like in his room, and I think we rented it when we first saw it. So I was looking forward to it, but I did in spite of myself, because that opening track got me in the right mood as well, and I was really, I was up for Cage, and all the rest of it, but I did just get quite bored, I'm afraid. It's I found the script fairly by the numbers, with uninteresting characters for me that actually had me pining a bit for the Fast and Furious crew in the better movies, that is. Yeah, in the better movies. Yeah, it's not a great crew dynamic, but yeah, and I found, by the numbers plot, and it was shot in that Brockheimer aesthetic that for me was like Bay, but without the sort of flamboyance, and there's very surprisingly little action, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I did find that it was the whole film was elevated by moments where it does get silly and it remembers to be ridiculous, which aren't as many as I'd like, but it is spread fairly consistently throughout. Like my quickfires are not from any like one part of the movie. It's pretty good run there. So I think most fundamentally, I just would have thought that a movie about stealing fancy cars would have had more glory shots of the cars looking fancy and some more chase sequences. And I didn't get much of those. Like, I could list the scenes of the cars looking fancy. You've got the bit where Cage first sees Robert Duvall's car.
Yeah.
You've got the bit where they walk into the warehouse of all of the shiny cars, and like Angelina Jolie says something. And then you've got the various bits of attention directed towards Eleanor. But otherwise, like literally, I struggle to really think of a shot of a car.
Yeah.
In this car movie.
Well, the thing is, like, for me, seeing people love cars is more interesting than the cars themselves. This is just I'm someone who doesn't really care about cars, and
no, nor do I.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't get too many moments of people being like, "Look at that," except for those 3 scenes I mentioned.
Yeah, right. Even just people talking about them, and I don't know, just the general air the movie gave was like, yeah, these like it made me more excited about cars than a lot of movies about cars, and like I find Fast and the Furious like. Really enjoying 5 and kind of enjoying 6, I think is how it works.
Yeah, I
right?
think that's where I'm at.
It's more of like a a meathead appreciation of cars for me. Whereas
Cars are set dressing in Fast and Furious.
yeah, in this and yeah, it is kind of like Bay without the flamboyance, but for me that's a good thing because I find it maddening.
Yeah.
Like Ambulance, like for all
Yes.
that it did right, it did more things wrong, and the fact that it was obviously Bay was just unbearable for me.
Yeah, it really was. But it's interesting because you remember we did Love, Wedding and Other Disasters, and I remarked that this is what Dennis Dugan is like without Sandler, i.e. nothing at all. Like it just without Sandler there, it was the most bland shit, and you got the sense that Sandler was really the driving voice.
Yeah.
This is like that. This is similar because Brockheimer without Michael Bay, and we had. It's not the first time we've encountered that because we've done Kangaroo Jack, which if you remember the opening sequences to Kangaroo Jack, where it was like a chase through the city, was super Michael Bay, and also King Arthur as well was Brockheimer without Bay. And we haven't covered Deja Vu, the Denzel Washington movie, but that is textbook Brockheimer without Bay. And it's really interesting how consistent the visual language of movies that Brockheimer has produced are. The color palette of sort of green and orange, the editing with the flashes of white and the camera movements, and the electric guitars. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And it just makes me wonder if actually Bay is like Darth Maul to Brockheimer's Palpatine. He's the real Phantom Menace.
He's the Phantom and very palpable menace.
Palpatine menace.
There we go. Brilliant. Full circle. What? But I think.
Yeah.
So for me, it was minus the Bay.
Yeah. The most overt Bayisms.
The Bay egregiousness, and plus Nick Cage, Delroy Lindo, Timothy Olyphant, Robert Duvall, Will Patton, and these people who, even if they're not giving big performances, are just sort of big enough presences that, yeah, I really wasn't bored. There are bits where, for example, yes, the cutting of the car chase scenes and the CGI jump and some of the dialogue and the team dynamic, but it didn't matter quite so much because I just wasn't bored. It was just really fun to be around all these people, and I kind of found like Timothy Olyphant and Delroy Lindo, they were just these specters, these really weird specters haunting Nick Cage, who's playing a character called Memphis Reigns, because obviously Dominic Sena is directing this, and it was just fun and amusing, and for everything that it lacked, it just kind of had a broad appeal to me, and
that's good.
Yeah, that stands for a lot
good.
in our career.
Indeed. But yeah, that's good stuff. But yeah, I did find actually with Oliphant and Lindo, their scenes for me reminded me of like the police investigation scenes from a Saw movie. In as much as I didn't get much from their like characters, and I kept wondering, why are we leaving the action to keep up with these guys and the minutia of their investigation? Like, we tracked down this guy who's copied some Mercedes things for them, and it's like, okay, cool. Like, I got the sense that we were trying to be worried about this, that their mission was under threat, and that these two are closing in. But yeah, I just wasn't that involved in that. And I think it's cool that the characters work for you, because that for me was the big bit that fell a bit flat for me, is that aspect of it felt a bit perfunctory. Yeah. And it's not helped, I think, by how many of them they are. It's a very large crew. And when you've got a large crew, you've got to do quite a lot of work to characterize people quickly. Yes, true. Like, what I got, cause Delroy Lindo, I think, got across the fact that he was obsessed with this, and there was a certain intensity in his performance that I found myself admiring. But I don't think the movie took enough time to properly convey that, and how much of his mind it occupied. So when it did cut back to the cops, that's what I was assuming, but it didn't seem to have too many consequences, and he didn't seem to be under that much fire, except from one scene with the homicide, or like his superior coming in and saying, "This is a homicide case, blah blah blah. What are you doing? Stop obsessing over it." Yeah, I can see that that's what I took from it, but concede that it didn't spend too much time properly fleshing that out. Oh well, it was all right for me, but for me it wasn't Pete Cage, nor the most fun Brockheimer I've seen, and I can't necessarily see myself coming back to it. But
No.
There's a lot of stuff that stood out to me.
There sure is.
So maybe we should quickfire. Quickfire. I've grouped mine together to be a little easier to quickfire. So I'll start with just my music stuff.
Okay.
I enjoyed the soundtrack by Trevor Rabin. I thought there was this weird sort of, I think it might be like the Eleanor theme or something, because whenever the car appears, there's like this weird sort of kind of thing that's going on, and I quite enjoyed that. Who also did the music to Kangaroo Jack and the One, incidentally, so he's a three-man.
Oh, brilliant. Hello.
Three-man. And, some of the original songs were very good. In particular, the opening song, that Sally thing.
Yeah.
And also, the scene where he's recruiting all of his guys, they play Better Days by Citizen King. And that song came out in 1999, but it is the most naughties-ass song ever fucking written. It just immediately puts me back there in the noughties, and I really appreciate that.
I've seen better days. I've been a star of many plays. I've seen better days. And the bottom drops out.
Yeah, every track I heard was either or reminded me of very strongly a single in the 90s. You know, it all really, really familiar, but not quite obvious what they were.
A lot of it was quite hard stuff, but like Better Days is like peak Tony Hawk stoner stuff, and I'm very appreciative of that.
Got to be appreciated of that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Words, am I right?
I'm done with them, mate.
I'm gonna try without.
Okay. Some smaller or like secondary parts that I liked. I like Vinnie Jones. He physically very imposing man, and he, like, despite all the cutting with his fight scene where he's just beating up those gang boys, it looks like he's hitting with a lot of clout, and that was cool.
Yeah, and I enjoyed his young face, and I liked at the end after he's done his only line in the film, when he says something like I assumed you were from somewhere, he does a little shrug.
Yeah,
that I quite enjoy,
and I really remembered that shrug.
Yeah,
it's funny. One of the few things I remember from this the first time around.
Excellent.
I did like looking at a young Christopher Eccleston, Paul.
Oh yeah, with his eyes.
Yeah,
beautiful eyes.
And he did have. I think he did have a certain menace to him. Because I don't know. Sometimes when it's a skinnier guy and he had the madness in his eyes, it was There's a threat there of just somebody who's unhinged and.
Yeah,
he's got the goons to do his dirty work.
He's got so many hired goons. My favorite line of his was when I think it's at the end when Delroy Lindo's about to get shot by him, and he says,
"I'm a police officer. Hey, you don't want to do that now."
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
Yeah, I think you're mistaken. I shoot you.
I do, actually.
Your life will be over.
You kill me. Now you think about this. I'm a police officer. Your life will be over.
No, you've got that the wrong way round. If I kill you, your life's over.
Yeah. What a punk. You gotta love that.
What a bloody punk.
I like the idea that that's the cleverest and coolest thing he could come up with. This guy, he's just kind of a dick.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, you don't appreciate poetry at all.
Okay, I enjoyed Scream 2 era Timothy Olyphant.
Yes.
And I in particular liked his really lame line.
By the time you get out, asshole, there won't even be cars. I'll be cruising around in little spaceships. That's gonna suck.
But then after that, there was this long pause where that line just has to fucking stay there in the air as Nicolas Cage walks away.
Yeah.
And, Oliphant has to, continue to smile after his line until he's out of earshot. It's a very good awkward moment that I enjoyed.
I enjoyed that too. So that leads into from that scene, and then also some more Timothy Olyphant, Delroy Lindo moments. Just before he says, by the time you get out, there won't even be cars. Delroy Lindo does the, I'll if you do
If you roll through a stop sign, if you use an aerosol can in a manner other than directed, I don't care. You make one slip, and I will put you away for good.
Yeah, I like that.
That was good. I like that line.
Yeah, but Timothy Olyphant in that scene actually, Delroy Lindo's doing the whole story about he bet somebody $200 that he hadn't seen Memphis Reigns back in in New York City or wherever it is there, and I don't give a shit. And he said,
I gotta go tell my woman that I just lost $200 on a stupid deal.
She's mean.
What?
She can be mean.
Yeah.
cool.
That's good stuff. I like Grace Zabriskie. I always like Grace Zabriskie, and even though she wasn't doing an awful lot here, I always like it when she shows up.
Cool.
She just has the look of a mad woman.
She does.
Even when she's playing like the compassionate mum. But I think she did have like that feel to her, that sort of, because she's here to be like the heart of the piece. This is the reason you want your awful Ribisi to get back home. Is
Never used to be awful.
Grace,
he loves his
you
mum.
don't want Grace. Exactly. Loves his mum. It's Grace Zabriskie, and you don't want anything bad to happen to him because otherwise she'll fucking go nuts.
She killed Laura Palmer. I don't know. I haven't seen Twin Peaks. Probably.
Huh?
I like Nick Cage's speech to the kids, not because of the reveal that he was talking to kids, but just if you step back and appreciate the fact that Nicolas Cage, is giving that speech to kids, it's just beautiful.
It's a wonderful thing for him to have done. I'm gonna do the rest of my like extras.
Okay.
Okay, the one guy who was like really mouthy, like the sort of chatterbox guy you have in every crew. He had a couple of bits that worked for me. One of which is he gave a guy a tip and he's like, save it and get another one of those suits or something like that, which I quite liked.
Yeah.
And then at one point his job is to distract a guy whilst his crew do something. And he's like amping and like going for all this stuff, and then he just gets a fucking doll out and just like starts waggling the doll about.
Yeah, tell you what, look at this, look at it. She's a brick,
and it's such a surreal thing for him to have done, to have a doll with him. Like, hey, this doesn't work. I've always got this. It's just something like, look at this, look at the crazy doll. It was such an odd little moment that I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Some guy that they've gotten the information from the Mercedes keys, and it's like, you sure you told us everything you know? And he's like,
I told you everything I know. I know that because I said, this is everything I know.
You know, that's quite good. And although it's quite an offensive and upsetting stereotype, I thought the actor playing the crying Asian woman who kept getting failed, I thought she was doing quite a good performance.
I'm sorry, miss, but you've missed 5 questions. That's a failing.
No, why? You were supposed to go faster when somebody tailed me.
She was, and it did. It made me laugh in spite of thinking about that, because as what's his name?
I think it was all right for me because I was laughing very much at what she was doing rather than
it wasn't like ha 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 Asian drivers. It was ha ha, because she was as the guy was taking the call from Memphis Reigns. She continued this this high pitched whine and was looking at him, and there was something like with intent. Like I know what I'm doing, and that really made me laugh.
Yeah, she was very good.
Yeah, God, I remember from my teenage years the car makeout scene, how close it all was, and like I remember things weirdly like the lines on Angelina Jolie's lips. Like there's just something about the how the lips were filmed. Obviously stuck with me. It just weird little things, I guess, that Angelina Jolie brings to brings to a movie.
And for all those subtle little things, there is something very charmingly filthy about her just grabbing the stick shift between her legs.
Yeah.
And she's like sliding over it, she just grabs the fucking thing, and that's that was nice and vulgar. I enjoyed that.
That's good. I really did when he offers to pay off Christopher Eccleston and just take his Ribisi back. And Christopher Eccleston just it's not easy to get your Ribisi back. But you gotta be keeping sleazy. And
be in it to Ribisi it.
He throws the money back at Nick Cage, and two wrongs don't make a Ribisi. And I just wanted to see the scene after that of him like quietly picking up all the money. We're like, I need this money. Nick Cage.
Nick Cage. Yeah.
Fine, I'll take it back, idiot.
Yeah. Okay, welcome to Paul's Burger Review Corner.
Ooh,
I've got to rank these or something. I've got to put a menu together of these burgers from would you like the Showgirls, the Batman and Forever, or the God in 60 Seconds?
The Batman and Forever.
I don't think the Gone in 60 Seconds is going to get too many orders because there was a bit too much bun, and the patties were very slender. They looked, like kind of roadside. Nevertheless, felt the need to review them.
Yeah.
That's Paul's Burger Review Corner.
Okay.
Burger.
Well, now I've got the best bit of the podcast out of the way. When Nick Cage has a gun at pointed at Christopher Eccleston's head, and Christopher Eccleston has one, and all of his goons have guns pointed at Nick Cage's head. Giovanni Ribisi is in a car crusher, and he's given
worst place to be in a car crusher.
You don't want that. If you just fall in as a human, you're fine in a car crusher because it recognizes that. But if you're in a car, it just can't differentiate.
Yeah. Car crusher, not
it's all
people crusher.
Tasty cars. But he's got 10 seconds to decide, or 30 seconds to decide before Ribisi gets crushed up. And when he assents, he stops holding the gun to Eccleston's head and doesn't say anything. And it's just a way cooler way of doing it than the whole, all right, okay. It's just something really considered about the way he goes, okay. He's already thinking about what he's got to do. And very, very cool.
Very good.
And even though it's cheesy as fuck, his entrance to Angelina Jolie of I don't know what this line means, but the
sounds like the left bank's running lean.
Cool as fuck entrance.
Okay, here are the bits of action I enjoyed.
Ooh.
There's a bit where the gangsters are chasing after them, and they shoot a shotgun, and a rug just kind of blows up, and that was quite good. Like a practical rug.
Ooh.
The big rig gag is quite fun when they get a big rig to tear out the chassis of a car. That looked quite good. When Vinnie Jones throws a snake out of the window and it lands on another car's roof, there's a satisfying thud to it, which I quite like. Nicolas Cage, whilst escaping in Eleanor, does a good 180 skid.
Nice.
There is a cool helicopter tracking shot of the chase through the flood control. Whenever they mounted the camera to the front of the car and stuck with it, that looked good.
Yep.
When the gas canister bursts and starts flying about the place, smashing into cars and through walls and stuff, that looked great.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the wrecking ball that shoves a car through a wall looked really good. So there you go. Those are the action bits.
Lovely. I think I don't think I've got anything specific from that. I like the interior shots and any like a camera fixed to the car all look great. Some of the stunts look pretty good. My
only issue with the interior shots is that we're a bit too close on the actor. It's good with interior shots if you can try and get like what's happening around the car in at the same time. Can make it seem a bit more involved in a sort of William Friedkin French Connection kind of way. But nevertheless, yes, there were some really good shots in there.
Cool. When Nick Cage is being led to be killed, at the end, and he sees there's a car being moved around by one of the like magnet cranes. And he goes, unicorn. And the guy next to him just goes, what? In like some shitty English accent. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Unicorn. What?
You what? Yeah, so the final jump, shame obviously that it wasn't real, but the landing looked good and chunky.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. I like a chunky landing.
Yeah. Everything rocks
I
about
usually
a
make
bit.
a chunky landing.
Every day, son. And the line, so the main thing I remember from Gone in 60 Seconds, and I still enjoyed it this time, was...
How you doing? Are you all right? Yeah. Are you okay? Just sit back. You all right?
I think so.
Are you sure? Because you just went through a wall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just
That's
went
good
through
stuff.
a wall. Thanks, Timothy Oliphant. And
Thanks,
the rest
as
are Nick
always.
Cage moments.
Okay,
Oliphant.
here are my Nick Cage moments. Cage snaps at a bar patron and then apologizes to him.
Yes, I enjoyed the apology. That was unexpected. Because I couldn't remember, and I thought it would end up being like a slap or something, or just intimidating him.
The guy was really weird about it the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
when he first snaps at him, he's just like, all right. And then when he apologizes, he's like, okay, that's fine. You don't need to.
Yeah.
And then later, he's like, I want to pay for this guy's drink. It's like, it's fine. Just, it's really a weird kind of awkward moment.
Yeah, please leave me alone.
There's a moment where Cage turns around with glasses. Oh, that's it. Yeah, it's when it is my favorite Cage scene. It's when he pretends to be just a douchebag for no reason.
Yeah.
And he turns around wearing glasses and like takes them off in a very Trasta fucking Troy kind of way, which I loved. And then just everything else in that scene is amazing.
This is the one, yes. I saw 3 of these parked outside the local Starbucks this morning, which tells me only one thing. There's too many self-indulgent wieners in this city with too much bloody money.
Everything in that scene.
The line, your decision-making privileges have been removed, is good.
Yep.
I enjoyed him saying it.
I am a bad man.
And then the ensuing lowrider scene is quite fun.
Yeah, the lowrider scene is really fun.
It is quite good. Oh yeah, when he gets shot down after making out with Angelina Jolie and is like doing weird car talk to get her in the mood.
Yeah.
And then just says,
Well, it's time to work.
Good breaks. Good breaks, too.
to indicate that, you know, she's
Yeah.
good at stopping having sex with Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage smiling at a kid, I've written. It's when he's in the car chase at the end and there's a kid in one of the cars just kind of smiling at him and he gives him a little goofy grin back.
Yeah.
And finally, just the line,
I just saw 50 cars for you in one night. All right, I'm a little tired, I'm a little wired, and I think I deserve a little appreciation.
Yeah.
You got to appreciate that sort of thing. And
You've always got to.
Is what I got out of Nicolas Cage in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Perfect. Well, yeah, I had most of those things, but also...
Ooh.
Yeah. The scene with Giovanni Ribisi when he's cooking him breakfast. He puts, he spills half a jar of salt in there and he just stirs it in and he gives it to Nick Cage, he takes a bite and he coughs and splutters and chokes and it's...
That's good.
Perfect timing. And later on in that scene, Giovanni Ribisi goes, I don't know why you're even worrying, and I've got everything under control. Your kitchen's on fire. Very good.
Oh, yeah.
Just the nonchalant way.
Look, I got everything under control.
Kitchen's on fire.
Weirdly, that entire interaction reminded me of his relationship with that kid in Bangkok Dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
kind of feel to it.
That's harsh.
It just had that kind of
Yeah, I think it had a bit more warmth than Bangkok Dangerous, I will say.
Okay.
And I think this is the importance of shades of grey. it's the right end of the spectrum for me, where it's quieter but it's not sleepy.
It's a subtle spectrum between Quiet Cage and Sleepy Cage, and it's easy to find yourself on the wrong side of it.
That'll be a lesson to your listeners.
Anything else?
Yeah, I really liked when he met up with Robert Duvall and they have that thing when Duvall's listening to the car sounds and he's talking about
I
talking
like
about
that
the
scene.
cars that made it. And his wife's looking on fondly. It's sweet.
It's very sweet. I did find it to be a bit of a bucket of water when he's like, what do you know about this guy? And it's like, I don't care about this guy. I want you two to talk more about cars and just enjoy each other's company more.
But I got from that it's necessity. He wants to catch up, but he's got to get on to urgent business, and he
sure.
the fact that he does so abruptly interrupt him.
Yeah,
it's intentional rather than
not giving a shit about cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no one doesn't give a shit about cars, Paul.
No one around here doesn't not give a shit about cars.
And I'll never not argue that.
Any more?
No, that's it. It's done.
Oh, well, that's going to be it then. In that
Cool.
case, there's only
Looks like
one
it's it.
kind of Cage fan I want to hear about around here, and those are members of the OGT.
Going over to Patreon first.
Yeah, of course.
Woo!
Why would you go anywhere else?
Bloody
Why
hell.
get to Patreon?
Good bloody question, mate. It's a good fucking question. So Mark Reed.
Fuck yeah.
Says,
Mark Reed?
Yeah. Mark Reed. Over at Patreon says, movies that dole out new wanking techniques should be given an automatic pass.
I'm curious.
Because, the guy who in my head was 90s Garrett Hedlund, one of the young members of the team was talking about sitting on your hand for about 15 minutes. And then
The Stranger, right.
Yeah.
Yes. I wonder if this originated there, because I have heard of The Stranger before.
Yeah. It might not have, but it definitely brought it to an inquisitive, an inquisitive teen audience.
I feel like you'd have to be very quick before the pins and needles set in.
It's part of the fun, mate. You got to grip so hard that you pass the pins and needles on.
Cog.
That's science. Also,
That is
Eleanor,
science.
he says.
Oh yeah, Eleanor. Very nice looking car.
Eleanor. Yes.
Eleanor.
I imagine.
That's a shame.
Nell also said as much, and I was like, I guess, yeah, it's a car. It goes vroom.
It can go vroom good though.
It did go vroom good. Moving over to Facebook, Jenny Soanes says, Yes, more Cage. Also, Angelina Jolie with those not really dreads, circa 2000 a la Eliza Dushku, and Bring It On.
Yeah, I looked carefully this time. They're like mock dreads.
Dread mocks.
It's interesting.
What a cast from the aughts. Oliphant, Lindo, Duval.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, both Duvals. And even some Brits like Eccleston and Vinny fucking Bullet-Tooth Tony Jones. I remember some of these performances, but mostly fun, vaguely tense montages showing how cool Nick Cage can stay under pressure. Cars, ticking clock, excitement. I'm afraid to rewatch and learn the truth. So yeah, I didn't say actually I enjoyed the tension and I like how long it took to get to the heist. I found that it did a good job of building tension. So there you go. Thanks, Jenny Sones.
Thanks, Jenny Sones. Always happy to see a Snatch reference in there.
Because he catches bullets.
Catches bullets, Tony. I would be very interested to revisit those early Guy Ritchies to see how they stand up, because I was fucking obsessed with those when I was a teen.
Yeah,
I watched Two Smoking Barrels and the rest of it more times than I can remember.
Imagine as well.
Yeah.
Beyond
far too many times to correctly remember its title.
That's how it works. Yeah, over to Twitter now. Kid Presentable at Howlin' Mad Martok says, blonde dreads Angelina, teenager me had many a dream about her. Yeah.
I'll get you howling mad.
Oh. BT Calloway. BT Calloway says, are you okay? Are you sure? Because you just went through a wall. Agreed. And Niall Bryden said, I always enjoy seeing Christopher Eccleston. Me too. And you too.
Me too.
Remember 28 Days Later?
I wasn't seeing him enough.
Yes.
In 28. Oh yeah, he was in 28 Days Later. He was a scary military man.
My men need women.
Yeah, sometimes in my head I substitute him with the hard-ass army guy from Dog Soldiers, who was also in Equilibrium.
Oh.
He was just the army dude of that period.
Yeah.
I don't think he's someone, but yeah, I just put his face in there.
Interesting. Well, now you shouldn't.
I shouldn't. I'll remember. It's an Eccleston joint.
That's it. Just like whenever we ask the OG team. Thanks,
it's always
OG
an
team.
Eccleston joint when you live with the OG team. Thanks, everyone.
In your heads.
Amazing. Let's talk about the one better thing. The one better thing. One better thing, one better down. Yes, okay, my one better thing is The Driver. It's a 1978 film directed by interesting man Walter Hill, who produced all the Alien movies, directed The Warriors, 48 Hours. He's an interesting guy. And The Driver is a sort of crime movie from the 70s with Ryan O'Neal in the lead, and you got Bruce Dern and Isabella Adjani in supporting roles. And this is a movie that like inspired Drive and Baby Driver.
Okay.
This very early, super cool like heist movie where he plays this professional criminal driver. Just some of the car stunts in this are just incredible. Just stuff that you just look at and think, Jesus Christ, how are they doing this and keeping everybody safe? They probably weren't. It has that same sort of reckless endangerment that the French Connection had. And I think it's, in spite of how influential it is a bit underrated because, you know, people don't know it as well as the French Connection. So I highly recommend The Driver.
Beautiful.
And I also really like Ryan O'Neal. He's a weird presence. Like, when you got a guy who was in, like, action movies and Barry Lyndon, he's just...
Oh, yeah,
just a strange guy. He's got an odd presence. And one of those guys you could say of him he can't act. And he... Like, you'd be like, yeah, I see where you're coming from. But I like him anyway. You know?
Yeah.
He's got a very odd energy.
Nice. Good stuff.
Yeah. The one better thing. Okay, Paul. So, how can people find out more about us and how long it takes us to get gone?
Oh, God. They could just open up the papers and read the news every day, suckers. Yeah, that's...
Longer than you'd hope, generally.
Yeah, generally. It's unfortunate, most would say. That everyone would think it. And if you want more about what everyone's thinking, you can just get onto Twitter at OGTPod and Facebook at OGTPod and send us an email at gmail@ogtpod@gmail.com where everyone knows what we're thinking.
Yeah, and everyone else as well. Broadcast yourselves.
Yeah, broadcast yourself. Everyone's a brand. And no one is more a brand than us because we have a Patreon where for as little as $1 a month, $1 a month, US. You get access to exclusive content such as our I Know What You Did Last Summer, Halloween 2022 Uncut and Boot sneak preview extravaganza extraordinaire. And more.
And more. All that you can imagine. I'm Paul Wonka.
I'm Willy Wonka.
And remember, the one good thing about Gone in 60 Seconds is... Okay, let's do it. Let's drive. Damn it. I fucked it.
Oh, you